What is going on, guys? Rosie here, and welcome to the video. And as promised, I am going to be showing you guys an introduction to my trading card game that I have been working on for years. Now, I did do a video on this in the past, but it was very unprofessional, I'll be honest. It was all just, I didn't really show you as much. You guys couldn't read up on it if you didn't want to. You had to follow along, and at times it was a little hard and it was out of order. So this is going to be a much more organized version and with some updated rules. So hope you guys follow along, and in some slides feel free to just pause the video so you can go ahead and read through some of these slides. So starting off, my game is called Revelation of Dimensions. ROD for short, or if you want to call it ROD, you can. Created by yours truly. I listed the names I'm known by online and in person. Disclaimer, just a little bit of information about like how the game's not yet released and it's still in the works. If you want to go ahead and pause this part of the video to read the slide, go ahead and feel free to do so. Synopsis, just a little bit of a another little bit of information, just how I'm trying to keep this short. You can pause this if you want to read it. And now we get to the important stuff. What you will need. You'll need a 43 to 53 card deck. It's debatable right now. I wanted at least some sense of diversity so that players could choose to run more cards if they wanted to and not be stuck with just one number. I feel like this will be fine for now, but maybe in the future I'll end up changing the card count. Then you'll need dice, at least 2 sets of colors. Example, 1 set of red, 1 set of blue. You need the dice to decide who goes first and keep track of each player's counters. I will get into the importance of counters later in this video. And then finally, you need some way of keeping track of each player's life. How to play. Each player will take turns building up their field by calling units into play and building up their counters. During their turn, they're allowed to use the abilities of each of their units or engage in combat with their opponent or the opponent's units in an all-out battle using their other various cards to assist them. This is kind of the field layout right now. This isn't official. If it was official, you would see a logo for my game in the lower left corner. Once I have one, I'll be adding it there. But if I decide to change the field layout, then then it'll be different. But for now, I think this is fine. The top row, we have 2 ally zones on the left, 2 ally zones on the right. The center zone is the general zone. In the next row, we have the sealed zone, 3 cast zones, and a dead zone. The center cast zone is also known as a shared zone that's also a strike zone. The bottom row of zones is the player card zone, the portal zone, general standby zone, and the deck zone. Field description kind of just mentions where everything is and a little bit about each of the zones. You guys can go ahead and pause the video here to read up on this if you wish to. Game objective, pretty much just how to win. There's 2 ways to win: reduce your opponent's life to 0 or make them deck out and run out of cards in their deck. The different card types. Unit cards, commonly known as creatures or monsters in other games. I just decided to go with units because not everything is technically a monster. There will be some people or somewhat people-related creatures in the game. They're what you'll be using to fight your opponent. Each unit will come with their own specific stats and up to 3 abilities, but some have no abilities at all, so there are going to be some vanilla cards in the game. This will be repeated later on in deck building section, but you can have up to 3 copies of each unit in your deck. Power refers to how much strength your unit has. Critical refers to how much damage your unit will deal if it attacks your opponent directly. This can be changed depending on card effects. Some of them can increase criticals, some of them can decrease criticals. Race refers to what kind of creature each unit is. There's going to be many different races. So, yeah. As you can see on this card example on the right hand side, in the bottom right area, you will see the race area, and this is a fire dragon. There will be more races like that in the future. Then we have realm, which refers to where each unit originated from, or what it fights for. There's going to be many various realms you could choose from. It's in the, you can see it on the card example in the lower left corner above the power area. Rank refers to the level or size of each unit. The numbers range from 0 to 3, with 3 being the highest rank. The rank determines the summoning condition of each unit, which I will go ahead and get into later in the video. 2 types of units. There are allies, which are the basic units that your deck is composed with, that you use to fight. Allies are summoned by paying counters equivalent to their unit's rank, and are then placed in one of the 4 ally zones. So if you have a rank 1, you're going to pay one of your counters to summon a rank 1. If you have rank 2, you do that with 2, 3 with 3. Now, why isn't it going to the next slide? Oh, jeez. Apologies, guys. Yeah, there we go. General. The general is essentially your partner / ace unit. They can be any rank that you want, any card that you want. The difference between a general does not need counters to be summoned on the first time. When you have your general face down in the standby zone for the general, the way you summon it is you discard a card with equivalent rank to summon that card into your general zone on the field, and then for the turn it gains plus criticals. Its criticals double until the end of the turn. And then if that if your general's destroyed and you happen to draw into another copy, you can summon that card into the general zone as well, but you have to pay counters on the second and third times, or whatever how many times you summon it. But the first time you pay 0 counters, you just discard card with equivalent rank, flip it face up, and summon it into the field general zone. And then its criticals are doubled until end of turn, until it's destroyed, because then you'll have your next copy, but when you summon it, it doesn't gain that extra 3 criticals because it lost too much power after being destroyed the first time. That's just me trying to break this down to make it a little bit simpler. If you guys want to pause and read this, go ahead. But we're moving on. Casts. Cast cards, commonly referred to as casts. Casts are essentially spell / magic cards of my game. There are many different properties, effects of casts, ranging from cost, effects, conditions. Some are just regular and just go to dead zone after activation, but some may stay on the field, and or they may equip themselves onto your units. Strike cards. Commonly, you don't need to know what it's commonly referred to as. You guys can pause that to read that part. I'm just going to simplify it. They're pretty much stronger versions of your cast cards, except they are more game-changing kind of cards. They're more since they're more powerful than cast, I put a condition on them so that you can only activate a strike card while your life is at 10 or less. And then after you activate one in a turn, you cannot activate one until after your next turn. So in 2 turns, you can activate another one. So you have to be very careful when you time your strikes. Some of them can be for setup to win. Some of them can be effects that let you win. There are going to be many different variants of strikes. Portals. Portal cards are essentially what represent the deck that you're using, or deck, realm, or dimension that you are playing your deck around. They have a purpose of using special abilities to either enhance your deck's abilities or give you a bonus for doing what your deck's meant to do. players. Essentially, you or me. I decided to make it so that we don't sit on the sidelines. If there's ever a manga or anime, you, the player, or whatever player you're watching, will be taking part in the action as well. So, if this was a real game, or if this was kind of like Buddy Fight, you would be pretty much equipped with the item at the start of the game, and you'd be able to take part in the battle as well. You could either use a supporting effects to enhance your units or set up some plays, or you can summon yourself out to the field to engage in battle right next to your units. Not all player cards will be able to summon themselves out to the field, but you do at least have the option to choose a player card that does so. There's going to be there's 6 player cards, each with 3 different abilities. They are Wielder, Fighter, Mage, Sniper, Summoner, and Healer. They all have the same verse ability that you can only contain, your deck can only contain cards from one realm/dimension. I have the effects confirmed for them, but I'm going to go ahead and release those in a later video because I don't have official designs for the player cards, as in like the art and card frame or card tablet, whatever you want to call it. Deck structure. I'm just going to read the top half. If you guys want to pause to read the lower half, you can go ahead and do so. So first, your deck must contain 43 to 50 cards, as I said, comprised of your 1 player card, your portal, your general, units, casts, and strikes. Just so you guys know, your units aren't allies until they are placed in the ally circle. You can contain up to 3 copies of any card in your deck, unless a card says otherwise. You can only have 1 portal per deck, only 1 player per deck, and you can only use a max total of 3 strike cards per deck, unless you can run less if you want to. Turn phases, you have the start of the game. Each player starts with 30 life, shuffle your deck, draw 6 cards, and if you have any cards you don't want, you just place them to the bottom deck and then draw the same amount from the top. Then you decide who goes first by any means. Standby phase, the turn begins for a player. Counter phase, you add 1 counter to your pile and return any used counters that you used in your previous turn back. The person who goes first starts with 2 counters on their first turn. The person who goes second only starts with 1, and then after that each turn only gains 1 counter in addition to the counters that they used in their last turn. Draw phase, draw 1 card from the top of your deck, add it to your hand. Turn 1 player skips the draw phase during the first turn, so there's really no drawback in going first or second. If you go first, you get an additional counter for the game. If you go second, you at least start off by getting a +1. Then you have the main phase, do whatever means you feel like doing. Summon your units, build up your field, enhance your unit strength or whatever. Then you have the battle phase. Before you can deal damage to your opponent, you have to clear your opponent's units off the field. So if your opponent has 1 unit on the field, you'll have to summon 2 units to deal damage to your opponent, unless you have a card effect that allows you to deal damage otherwise. End phase, turn player declares end of their turn. Repeat standby phase to end phase until 1 player has reached 0 life or until their deck runs out of cards. I just simplified some of these, so if you guys want to pause to read all of it, you can. Why did I make this trading card game? You guys can go ahead, pause if you want to read up on this. Just explains why I made the game. Closing statements and my thanks. Guys, thanks so much for watching this, and anyone who's willing to to anyone who's gonna give my game a try in the future. If you guys have any questions, comments, suggestions, go ahead and join my Discord server in the link in the description below. And also you can message me on my Twitter, twitter.com/Ryoza, or if you want to go ahead and comment down below, you can do that. And guys, if you want to help support the channel and support the release of my trading card game, then feel free to click the Patreon link in the description or make a donation to my PayPal at ryozax@gmail.com. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with all my Yu-Gi-Oh videos and videos about my trading card game, and don't forget to click that bell button.